Wow, man, that's a clip from one of the most entertaining movies I've seen as of late, Heather B. I went over the weekend. I actually sat in a movie theater myself to screen this movie before its release. We have one of the stars here, but I'm going to let DB run it down the line. Big him up, DB. This is my homie right here.
Well, he's my homie, too, because we have a great mutual friend in Lamorne Morris, his ex-New Girl star, and we were talking about Lamorne. Just tagged him today in a post. It's something him working out, talking about that ass. So we were joking about, like, the social media wars between the former castmates. And, you know, last time he was here, he was promoting Digging for Fire. He's also been here for Let's Be Cops. We just had Damon Wayans Jr. come by and talk about their writing process with the Shell docs. I mean, and I guess you can add Golden Globe nominee because now the Spider-Man film has been nominated for Best Animated Feature.
I think that's correct.
All right, so I think we might have a future Golden Globe winner here when he comes back next time.
Yep.
Please welcome Jake Johnson.
Jake
Thank
Johnson.
you so much.
Jake,
Thank you.
Double J.
Jake, man.
Thank you.
Hey, man, when they add Golden Globe in the front of your name, you know what I mean?
I do.
What you know? Is that just a sign of I made it, Mom?
I'll tell you what was a sign of I made it.
Yeah.
Was when I booked New Girl and they told me I had 13 episodes guaranteed.
Yeah, that's.
And it was the first time, you know, that as an actor, I've done 1,000,001 day jobs, but I'm like, wow, I get paid for 13 weeks to do this, and I felt like,
you made it.
I made it.
Yo, so Jake already made it, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Screw the Golden Globe.
Right? The Golden Globes isn't paying me.
No, they're really not, man.
But this movie, I am really, really excited about. So honestly, this movie got nominated for the Globes, a bunch of critics stuff too, and it should. It's a really special movie. The directors and animators really knocked it out of the park.
Without telling the whole entire movie, first of all, the animation is incredible. The graphics are incredible. What I really appreciated too was the score,
The music.
the music of the
sure.
movie is standout, incredible. But there was a lot of diversity in the characters in this movie. So Miles, who becomes, am I giving up too much?
No, you can.
Okay, Miles, who becomes a
Spider-Man.
he becomes Spider-Man.
That's right.
Okay, a version of Spider-Man.
Yes.
If you he's right here.
Yep.
Shameik's here. Shameik Moore is here.
Shameik!
Oh snap! Okay.
Oh, we're talking about Miles.
Talk about diversity.
Miles Morales. What's up, man?
Hey, my brother right there, man. Yeah, Shameik made it, man.
I'm here.
The Black Star came late. Go figure.
I gave myself an
Okay, so Shameik Moore is here too, man. Shameik, good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
Shameik is a friend of the family.
Yeah.
What were we just? We were just at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And we Cutthroat City.
Yeah.
We were talking about Cutthroat City
Yeah.
with the RZA.
With the RZA.
Which is an incredible project. He's done so much. He's actually playing Miles. He's the other co-star.
That's right.
In this Spider-Man movie. And you just walked in, Shameik, on cue. I was just telling Jake what I like about the movie was the diversity. Because Miles is, what is Miles? Is Miles black? Is he
He's black and Puerto Rican, so he's Afro-Latino.
Okay, so his mom is Latino. His pops is black. What is his uncle is?
He's black.
Mahershala Ali.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It was other.
The roommate was Asian.
The roommate was Asian.
Yeah. The roommate was Asian.
Yeah. His potential love interest. White.
Yeah.
The flirtation that goes on. Basically what I'm saying is everybody was represented in this animation, and it didn't look weird. It felt, I noticed it because I look for that sort of thing, but it looked like what we look like in today's society.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right?
Nice.
Did y'all notice that? Was that part of what you liked about the story?
Well, I know that was a big part when Phil Lord first broke this story down. Phil Lord was one of our producers and one of our writers. He kind of put this whole thing together. But the whole idea of this Spider-Man is that anybody can wear the mask.
Okay.
So it's not just Peter Parker. It now introduces Miles Morales. It introduces Spider-Gwen, the first female spider person. And we're all a team together. So part of that diversity is just the makeup of this world.
Spider Noir is in there.
Nick Cage.
That's let me ask you this, because I did Boondocks, right? Back when Boondocks was out a couple of times, and I would go and do my vocal parts, but had no idea how it would fit in, what it would look like, the whole nine. When y'all finally saw the final version with your vocals and everything put together, was it different than what you imagined? Miles.
I mean, Miles for sure. Let's put that in there.
Okay.
I would say, like they would say that they're working on making it a comic book come to life. So what I imagine that to be is one thing, but what they did was take that idea and do it the best that they could. They exceeded my expectations. And Chris and Phil, if anybody were to do that and exceed expectations, it would be them. You know, and I would say I had faith that they would do their job the way I was going to do mine. You know, and yeah, they did. They executed. Right. So when we did see it, I didn't really know what to say. I was just kind of looking at Jake, and Jake was looking at me. He was like, I think this is going to be good for you, man. Well,
Shameik, you're good in the movie. So when I first saw it, I'm like, not only is the music good, it looks good, the performances are good, and we've buddied up on this. And I'm like, you're going to be okay after this one, man.
And vice versa. I think he did a great job.
I think he nailed the overweight, middle class superhero. He did that.
I got that in my sleep. I roll out of bed as that guy.
He didn't even have to train for that, right?
One of my favorite lines from this dude, he was like, very cool when he met Gwen. But anyway.
You had a scene with Stan Lee, right?
Yeah.
Who played the
storekeeper who sells him the Spider-Man costume.
Yeah. Right. Did you actually do that dialogue with him? No, you didn't get a chance to do it with him?
Sadly, but it's an honor to be a part of his imagination. You know what I mean? For him to pass on and like what he was thinking about at my age, like to come, full circle and to still be living on. I hope to be able to create a world or a few worlds that can live on past my lifetime and continue to inspire the future generations.
Damn shit! Did you think about that before coming out?
It's a quote from the movie.
What the hell did
Shameik, you are getting better at this, man. I was with you when we started.
You just shut down the whole interview right there. Man.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, Jake.
Just use that clip for all.
That cool? All right, cool. How the kids?
Fine. Yeah, it's good. Ask Shameik.
Yeah. All right.
Let me ask two quick questions. First, did Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, who both the creators of Spider-Man, passed away this year, which was a weird coincidence, but did either of them get to see the final product of the film? And second question is, will we see a broader multiverse with the animated films the way we see the MCU with the live action films?
I believe Stan saw it.
I would assume. But they did finalize the movie like a week or two before now.
He probably saw it earlier.
Okay.
That's exactly right.
I still had lines to record 3 weeks ago. So
that was a very smooth way of saying that.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Damn. So y'all weren't done with it 3 weeks ago?
I mean,
they keep making tweaks on this. We've been recording this one for 2.5 years.
Okay.
So this was not one where we jumped in 2 or 3 times, set our lines, and we're done. They would animate around us. They would change things in the booth. They would have new jokes, new ideas. They would hand write things while we were recording and say that. So it was constantly changing.
It's like making an album, Yeah.
You're
not really done until it's until it's out.
Until it's out.
Yeah.
So let me. I'm just trying to understand how it works. So are you ever in the same room with the other actors doing the parts?
We got to work together.
Okay.
But the scene with me and Brian Tyree Henry, the whole "Dad, I love you," like we were together in that scene.
Okay.
I think they wanted for like the big emotional stuff to see what you could do together. So with Shameik and I at the beginning, I think we both recorded on our own a lot, but I felt like they wanted to connect us, so we got to get in the booth and do full scenes and get to know each other, which really did help a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. It seemed like you guys known each other for years, man. What about Jake got on your nerves? Go ahead, Shameik.
No, honestly, I don't think I've experienced the nerve part yet. But he's very witty and he's quick on his feet. It inspires me. Like he's really the GOAT in the interviews. I've just been learning from him because for real, he can communicate really well, and when we're working, he's focused and he's good to play off of. He's easy to work with. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to make money with this guy.
Hey. Yo, right there, that scene right there when you was talking, like you hear how Jake he controls his tone while you're talking, and it sound like just like in a movie. Because when you were like, he's the pro at this, he said, "Back at you, dude." It sound like it's just like I was watching the Spider-Man movie. Right?
Well, I gotta give Shameik. I actually just did one this morning, and they ask me what I think about him. And our relationship is very Peter and Miles. In that it starts off, I'm a lot older than Shameik.
Yeah.
So some of the things when we first started doing press, I'd just been doing it more. But as we go, if you hear his answer, I'm like, oh yeah, he's getting it going. And it's, for me, it's fun to watch, style. I'm not a guy who thinks a lot about it, but doing press next to this guy, I'm like, all right, man. So all of a sudden I'm dressing up for a day where I know I'm going to be with you. I'm like, all right, we're going to be in a photo together. I can't be in like jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, man.
Let's go.
That's the first time I saw it.
T-shirt, but hey,
Thanks,
it's all
man.
good.
I like the blazer look.
Yeah, it's fun.
You look like a dad too, man.
I am.
Jake, Shameik, I'm wondering, a lot of times people believe that doing voiceovers is just hella easy. A lot of actors look forward to it. Right. What are the challenges of it, though? Like, do you have to have a gallon of water by your side for that entire day? Like, speak on it.
Okay, so we have, there's two different perspectives here. But for me, I'm not going to take away the convenience of not having to get in hair and makeup and the whole outfit and whatnot. I would say it's a easier day, compared to having, like, for me, if I was Miles Morales, when I am Miles Morales, the live action one, I'm gonna be doing my own stunts. I'm screaming, all of that. That takes more energy, and I want to do that. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's all about the performances. You can have just any old person or rapper or just anybody on the street do vocals in a movie, and yes, they can animate to it. But this movie, what makes it special is that they hired great actors that are very passionate about what they're doing, and that's with whatever you're doing. You could be playing ping pong or basketball or football. Anybody can really do those. You can learn how to box, but you know what I'm saying? Are you passionate about it? How great you are determined, that's really about how you feel about what you're doing and how much work you're putting in.
Right.
That's how I answer that.
I thought voiceover was going to be what you described, and I was excited about that.
Right, and then
it's way harder. We've been doing this for 2.5 years, and you can't cheat in voiceover. When you're shooting a scene, you can make a facial expression. If you're trying to hit a joke and no one's laughing, you can like flap your arms, or you can try to do something to steal a laugh.
Right.
And at the monitor, if they laugh, everybody's happy. But you actually didn't hit the joke. If you're doing an emotional scene and you're not hitting it, you can maybe do it with your eyes, or you can do it with something you do in that scene with your body. In the booth, they're just listening. So if you don't hit the emotion, if you don't hit the joke, you just go again and again until you do. So it forces you to actually really try and be passionate, what Shameik was saying, in a way that I didn't expect, but I really liked.
What's the most amount of takes you had to do?
Oh, we've done every scene in this movie. Tell me if I'm exaggerating.
10, 15 times.
More,
each.
dude, each. Like,
wow.
we would do, I think I've done, there's a monologue my character says at the beginning. My name is Pete. Let's start from the beginning. My name is, I think I probably did that 75 times over the last 2.5 years.
Yeah. It was like from the beginning of when we started doing this, they had a script, and they continued to define it over 2.5 years. So we're coming back doing the same exact scenes, but 2 or 3 lines are changed or different, and they wanted with a little bit more excitement this time, or maybe they want you to pull it back just a little bit this time. It's just following direction, really.
Yeah.
Right.
But you could say the same line for an hour and a half. If they're like, it's not quite right. Could you be a little bit angrier? You'd be like, yeah. I can do that now.
But how do you mentally prepare for that? Like, how do you not get frustrated? How do you not stop hearing the line yourself after so much repetition?
Don't ask for it if you can't do it. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Get a
right.
role to somebody that's going to do it.
That's exactly, because there's a line of people outside who want it. So if you start getting too bad in there, for me on this one, I did this job for 1.5 years, and they told me I wasn't allowed to announce it. And they said, it could be out there. Like, my team was like, well, Sony's going to announce it. And really, it's because in the booth, you could lay something down and they could get somebody else. So I'm not going to go in there and throw a fit. I want this job.
Heather B and I are in the MC universe, and they were really hard on us because we were doing Luke Cage about, secrecy. And how hard were they about this animated film?
About
in terms
able to
talk about it, yeah. Like, did you have to sign contracts or that sort of?
I don't know if I signed a contract, but it was like don't say anything. So I just didn't say anything.
That was the same contract I signed.
Okay, so
Just don't do it. You got it.
One-line contract.
I need to do crime with these dudes. They ain't snitching.
No way, man.
That's what's up. So what's up with you right now, Jake? What's keeping your time, man? What's occupying your time?
I've been writing with Damon Wayans Jr.
Yes.
We've been having fun doing that, and just sold an animated show called Hoops, which we just got a 10-episode pickup over on Netflix.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
So that's been fun
Super
to do.
dope.
You sound like you need some voices for this hoop thing.
Come on.
Okay. Just knowing that we are here. We are
like
here.
it.
What about you, Shameik? What's going on with you?
Let's see. I mean, we're promoting Spider-Man right now. Next year we got Cutthroat City coming out. That's already in the bag. Pretenders coming out. That's in the bag. I'm done with my mixtape. It's been done since the Get Down, but we're going to start releasing music videos top of the year after, Spider-Man's been out a little bit. We win the Golden Globe, and I'm going to let that settle in for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to start dropping these videos and flex on the whole music community one time.
You
and
got
let
bars
everybody-
like that, son?
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just let the work speak for itself. The way the movie speak for itself. I'm gonna let the work speak for itself, and I'm gonna just show up, and y'all gonna be like, "What in the who told this young man he was allowed to do this?"
You wearing that? That's a different hat. I gotta treat you differently than this. This is a different kind of interview than when you rapping. You know that, right?
Hey, I'm not really,
Are you singing or rapping?
I'm doing more singing, but it's not like it's more like the new age singing, but like with the old school vibe and soul. You know what I'm saying? It's R&B, but with the inspiration from like modern hip hop, with the inspiration from like Jamaica, because my family's Jamaican, and I love rock and roll music, so I have guitars in there. It's like, in these visuals, I've learned so much being on set with a Baz Luhrmann for 2 years, who made Romeo and Juliet and like Moulin Rouge, being on set with Rick Famuyiwa, who made The Wood and Dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting right next to these guys, and I'm learning, like, and I'm sponging up. The way I sponge up with you and Phil and Chris and everybody, I'm not like the little boy that's on set just like in the trailer and just going, no, I'm bothering the DPs, the lighting people, the directors. I ain't go to college, but I got more knowledge going on these sets than the people that's paying to go to these film schools. Let me tell you that.
What's your ultimate aspiration, though? You want to start just making the films yourself? Or?
Oh, yeah, that's within the next 5 years, that what you talking about. But the ultimate aspiration, like I'm trying to be the definition of, well, I'm gonna say it like this: Michael Jackson is like the greatest entertainer of all time, right?
Yeah.
I also think Beyonce could be qualified for something like that. It depends on what you feel. But then you got, as far as like the best actor, in my mind, I would say like there's a Denzel Washington, and like there's a lot of great actors.
Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I want to mix.
Everybody was thinking it. Thanks for saying it.
Boom.
So
I
that's
would say I want to mix those two, Michael Jackson and Denzel Washington, put together. And yeah, that's what I'm going to be as an entertainer. Mix, and then throw on top of that like a director. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be really fire.
Can't wait to say, man.
You know
We're going to save this interview right here, too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, look, December 14th, man, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Man, I can't express it enough. Like, take everybody in the family to see this. We didn't even talk about the message in detail, but there is definitely something that your kids could walk away and feel empowered about. But it's not just for the kids. It's for the adults, too, and everybody in between. Everybody could wear that mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're at 99% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Really?
Yeah, man.
99?
99.
Who messed up the 100?
Some fool talked about the animation. They didn't know what they were talking about.
Really?
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
that's to say that this is for kids, but it's also for grown-ups. Critics aren't talking about what a 9-year-old's going to like. Our directors, our animators, our writers put something together that really is for everybody in a way that makes this one easy to sell.
Congratulations, Jake Johnson, Shameik Moore.
I need to find this person.
And make sure to stay after the credits, too, because it's a cool mid-credit scene when the credits start rolling.
Yeah,
I
there's a
think
bit at
everybody
the
will
end.
appreciate.
You got to stay a good 10 minutes, though. Make sure you sit in there.
Oh,
It
yeah.
does take a while, right?
It was like that in Venom, though, too. We was at the end of Venom,
Yeah,
Spider-Verse.
yeah.
The movie was all the way done.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Every credit roll. I'm like, you guys couldn't just do this after a few of the actors? Pop this in?
I saw a countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2.
All the special thanks.
Yeah,
People's
everything.
grandmas are being thanked. I'm like, let's go.
Craft services.
The film.
Yeah, exactly.
The film snapped.
Then the lights went on the theater. Then they went off. I'm like, just show the things. So I can
The
go home.
custodian said, give it a minute.
Enough already.
But definitely wait for it.
Exactly.
Man, guys, congratulations, man. Come back anytime.
Thanks,
all right?
bud. Thank
All
you.
right. Who we got next?
Fat
Fat Boy
boy.
SSE.
All right, Sway in the morning.